Hello, hello. How are you on this Sunday, November 17th? You know what? In just a week and a half, it's going to be Thanksgiving. So I hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving planned that you're looking forward to. And if it's a TV dinner, that's good too. Find something good on TV and enjoy yourself. So I'm sitting here. This I sometimes frustrate myself because I always try to find something to do. Oh, whose thread cutter is being temperamental? Don't you hate that? I tell you what, that is very frustrating. And I want Juki to fix that, to find out what is going on. And please fix that. But I am back from my retreat and I've missed you, missed you. Where are ladies? Here, Michelle Lang. Hi, beautiful lady. How are you, darling? But I sit here and the mess of this desk drives me nuts. And so what do? I'm busy right till the moment I get on live. And then it's like, oh, I can try to clean this up. Not the best time. But hi, I am back from my retreat. It was a great retreat. I've got so many things to tell y'all and show you. So, oh boy, it's nice to be home. I've got to get back into the groove of doing a show. It's so funny. There are times I get on and I'm right in the zone, and then there are other times that I'm out in the ether. But I am so happy to be here. I'm trying to iron a couple things to show you. I want to show you what I'm working on. Bonnie's here. This is great. So, okay. I'm hoping my placeholders are getting out there. Betty's here. Hi, sweetheart. So it is so good to see all of you. Let me iron one more thing. I've got a bunch of stuff to show you. I tell you what, when you go to a retreat where everyone is sewing, Frances Adcock, how good to see you. We remember you. In fact, you were here not that long ago again. It is so good to see you. But when you go to a sewing retreat, boy, there are threads everywhere. It is a big thread fest, let me tell you. But I took my own garbage bag and tried to be really good about getting all my little threads and my snippets in the garbage bag, because we try to be polite when we go to the retreat. It's a Salvation Army camp, and they have group after group. And it's the off-season groups that help support their budget for the summer camps they do for very deserving children. And so it's kind of nice. We get to go and have fun, but know that the funds are going to a good cause. So, okay. I think I've got it as ironed as I'm going to get. But I packed up my sewing stuff. I packed up my sewing stuff Friday evening, and I was going to try to pack it up. I'm going to try to get out of there by 8 p.m., get the stuff put in the car by 8 p.m. And I ended up almost finishing a block that I'm going to show you in a few minutes. So I didn't get done till 9. Then I got the car loaded up, and I want to thank Dina and thank Cindy for helping me get the car loaded up. I have a kind of I got thrown off a horse years ago when I was 19, and it messed up a couple vertebrae in my back and broke part of one. And so by the end of the day, now. That's the thing. You get better when you're young and you think, that wasn't so bad. And then you get old, and guess what? It comes back to haunt you. It comes back and says, hey, wait a minute. Do you remember that time you were being stupid? Yes. So my back was killing me. So I got the whole car loaded. It was 10 o'clock. And I went back over to the room and opened the door to the room, and it was hot. Just as soon as I opened the door, it was like, oh. And there are some ladies over there that believe in turning that heat up to beat the band. And I bet you anything they wouldn't turn the air conditioning that up that high. But when I opened the door and that heat hit me, I thought, I'm done. I want to go home. And knowing you're only an hour away from home makes it real easy to go, I'm going to go home. So I thought, I'm going to surprise Mark and I'm going to head home early. So by the time I went in the room and I only had a suitcase and a snack bag and a backpack, just a few little things, because I try not to take too much because I know that anything I take, I've got to carry into the room and then I have to put back in the car before I leave. So I went to, I quickly just started throwing stuff into bags. There wasn't that much. And then I took 2 or 3 trips to the car, which wasn't that far away, and got in that car about 10:15, got home an hour later. And it was so nice. Hi, Miss Lisa. Oh, it's so good seeing all of y'all. Let me know when Marcia gets here too, because I've got a Pepsi present for Marcia. She's not here yet. She might not come. But Mark's getting ready to retire from Pepsi, and we know that Marcia is our favorite Pepsi fan. So Mark got this from work 2 weeks ago, and I said, can I have it to send to Marcia? So this will be winging its way to our Marcia, who loves Pepsi. So that will be coming to Miss Marcia. Then when I was down here cleaning up and getting ready for the show, I saw the Polonia plant that we have out back. And I said, oh my gosh, Mark. I knew he was going out to the yard to herd leaves. And so I said, would you mind picking one of those Polonias? Now, what we do, Polonia is a type of plant with a hollow core. And it can make a tree that in the spring has fuzzy purple flowers. But if you trim it down to the ground every year, which, he already did it. Yay, good for him. Oh, he's so smart. Yep, he already trimmed it down for the year. If you trim it down each year, then it will grow from the roots. When it grows from the roots, it makes these gigantic leaves. And what you're seeing, the reason the leaves look like this is they've had a whole summer of some hail, heavy raindrops, acorns. So by the end of the season, they look like this. But they're a heart-shaped leaf that in the spring, they are gorgeous. So you will see this growing beside the highway. You'll see it growing in cracks in a parking lot. The Japanese love that wood. And so for them, it's a timber tree. It grows very fast. But most people here say, oh, it's a weed. But I love those leaves. And Deb, there's room at the table for everybody in Deb's little world. You know how that goes. The plant, in 1 year, it gets to about 20 feet. If you let it go, it maybe would top out about 40 feet. But I just love it. It's just a sweet Polonia, or I spell it Polowni. I don't know, something like that. But if you look it up, you should be able to find it. But we consider it a weed. But It's so funny. I had one that volunteered in my house in Maryland, and when I moved down here, I was I was in a parking lot and saw one growing in the crack of the parking lot, and so Mark and I carefully teased it out of the crack, took it home and planted it, and it lived. And then when I moved here, I saw another volunteer. I was so excited because there's certain plants. I used to be as much of a nutty quilter as I am now. I used to be that nutty of a gardener. I was going to try to have every plant I could possibly grow growing in my garden. So when I was in Maryland, I had all of these garden rooms, I called them. And so I had different things planted in different areas around the house. But you know what? I have found now that when you get to an age, quilting is a whole lot easier because you can sit down and you don't have to be out in the heat. I miss it, but that was great for that time and period. All right. It was a wonderful, wonderful retreat. Nancy, oh my gosh, she does the best job. I told her this is one time that I couldn't be more happy to be bested by someone. She took the retreat over from me 4 years ago. I gave her an emergency call saying, they just found cancer. I'm going to have surgery. Can you take the retreat? And she did. She's such a doll baby. She had a friend who's been her friend for like 60 years fly in from Montana to come to the retreat with her. So you know she's a good friend when people will do that. But she just ran the best retreat. They threw me a wedding shower. So I'm going to be showing you that later. Oh, I know what. I'm going to start out by what do you do with your little thread bowls that we made that we love so much? Well, I put some fake acorns in it, and it's a nice fall color, and I'll have it sitting out until I put my Christmas decorations up. And I could even then put kissies, wrapped kissy candies in this because guess what? It also works for Christmas. So I just thought I'd show you if you make one of these wonderful thread baskets, we made it on in a hoop on water soluble type support. Solvay is a good brand name. And then we did all the threads, and you have to do them in loops all over. Polly was a great teacher, but you do little loops all over, and then you can decorate it with beads. I put some beads on. Let me see. Um, Here's one bead is up here. Another bead is down there. But you can put sequins and beads and all kinds of yarns and ribbons. But this is just a sweet little fall reminder that sits on my table upstairs. Also, did I show you when I got the new machine, I decided I needed to get authentic um, sewing needles and class 15 bobbins. So I think I did show y'all this because I had the catalog down here and it's from WAWAK. I was so impressed. These were $2 and a few cents for 10, class 15. These were $2.64 for 5 Schmetz nice needles. So I just wanted to show you while I was away at retreat, I even used top stitch. It did, pardon me, it did wonderfully. Anytime you're doing top stitch, needles are the best for thread sketching or thread painting. Anything like that where you metallic threads where you don't want the thread to keep breaking. So I do now remember that I did show you that, so I'll put that away. I know what I'm going to show you. Oh, okay. Let me tell you this really quick. The new machine is a dream. I love it very much. And you ready for this? The woman who sold it to me sent me an email while I was at the retreat. Sent me a text while I was at the retreat and said, "How's the machine working out for you?" And when we do our show and tell pictures, I've got a funny picture to show you. All right. So behind my rolling design wall is my wonderful, much loved color wash quilt. And I got to tell you, I just adore this thing. So most Sundays, this will be here for us to enjoy. I might hang it in different directions. Wow, hanging it sideways like this, you really see the big swoosh. Do you see that? Isn't that great? I took my new machine to the retreat and used it because I said, you know what? I've got to learn that, baby. I don't know if I'll bring it to Myrtle Beach because it's heavy. It is very heavy. And it was so heavy I didn't put it in the two-toe. I took my two-toe to put other supplies in, but I made sure that there was a really strong cart that I could borrow to put it in and then, take it with me. But what I wanted to show you here is, whoops, let me bring this up. Hold on, please. All right. I took this to do show and tell and got some good questions from people. So I was very tickled. Like, how do you hold all of these on? Then let me see if I can bring this down to show you. Ouch. Don't stick yourself with a pin. Okay. All right. I want to be able to show you what I did to this at the retreat. Okay. So let me push that way. Okay. All right. So this is the quilt from a class that I took just a few days before I went to retreat. And it was with the Mancuso, the virtual schoolhouse, of which there is one in January. And there just was one, and one in January. I think there was supposed to be another one. But check out the Mancuso site. I highly recommend taking these classes. If you are like me and you hate to travel to go take a class, stay in a hotel, take all your stuff, but you want to keep learning, because for me, taking these classes really inspires me to create. So if that's the case, check out their virtual schoolhouse classes on the Mancuso site. Mancuso are the same people that put on the Mid-Atlantic Quilt Show and many others across the country. They're a wonderful company, real nice company, family company. But I took this class from Rachel Durston, or Durstin, Derstine. Rachel, she's wonderful. I tend to be a little shy in class. And if I physically go to a class, I usually try to, sit near the back. Um, she was so easy to talk to, so enjoyable. And I was able to learn with her because she was just so friendly and nice. So I appreciated that. So what we did during the class, I showed you last week, we took and using curved, she gave us a pattern and we made the curved background. Then she had patterns for these circles, so that it was constantly about getting comfortable and the best way to use curves in your quilting. And I had a great time. Now, I took this with me to the retreat and took matching threads and matching yarns or ribbons to adorn it with. So I'm going to show you that up close. The circles were made on using a fusible. so I could put them on. Ads question. What did I say? Ads. Oh, no, I didn't turn the ads off. Hold on. Thank you. I'm sorry. Let me try. Hold on. I keep forgetting to do this. Num, 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 num. Turn off ads, Deb. Um, huh. Hmm. Hold on, guys. Hmm. I thought I had it. No, I think I didn't have it on. They shouldn't be doing ads. Allow automatic concepts. Let me click off. Hold on. I had the main ad button turned off, but then I think that they had two other little buttons. So I want to try to keep, because I haven't gotten any ad revenue from this channel in the almost 7 years I've done it. Just lately with Mark getting ready to retire, I thought, well, why not? Let's do that, because I'm going to try to see if I can do some new stuff once we have more time. But I don't want the ads to run while we're live, because this is our meeting time. I don't want anything interrupting the flow. Now, if you watch it on playback, there will be ads. I apologize. But I tell you what, I just thought, you know what? I can do more stuff and buy more supplies if I have ads. So that would be nice. So anyway, I got all the background done. And then I took with me to the retreat backing and batting. And I said, okay, I took all of these circles with me. And so what I did is I noticed that when I did the original layout, I forgot to put any orange or yellow down on the bottom quarter of it. So that's where I put my circles that had more light yellow and orange. And then what I did is I pinned the backing and the batting into place, and I quilted this on the new machine. Now, I am no good at quilting on a domestic. They say, and if you think about this, it's a really good analogy. The difference in quilting on a long arm and quilting on a domestic is best described this way. On a domestic, you hold the pencil and you move the paper to write. My brain doesn't work good that way. I mean, there are people, Angela Walters can just as easily do a domestic quilting as a long arm. But when you do a domestic, you move the paper and the pencil stays still. When you do a long arm, the paper stays still and the pencil moves. Well, that's comfortable to me. Also, I'm left-handed, so I don't know if that plays into it. But if it gives me an excuse, I'll take it. So anyway, I was going to try to do some circles and some free motion. What I did is just stuck with, the curvy, wavy lines. Now, let's say you're trying to get better at quilting on your domestic. Then, unless you're going to do ruler work, I would stick with curved lines. Because when you have a curved line, I didn't use any rulers. It's easier for your eye not to pay attention if the lines aren't perfect. So curvy is the way to go. So each segment had curves that went in different directions. And I'm thinking let me bring the light over too, but I'm thinking you're able to see my quilting. And it was just, let's give it, and this is the first one I've done. This was the class one, but I like it. And I'm going to do more of it. And I think the circles, I was noticing people came up with different ideas to do to put in their circles. So the background was supposed to be a little calmer, and then the excitement was going to be done with the circles. So I'm going to back up and show it to you again. And thank you, Miss Rachel. I need to send a picture of this to her. Let me see. We'll go this way. But I had a good time. Oh, and I've meant to show you too the yarns and stuff. This around some of these is sari, the Indian, wonderful Indian gowns that women wear, SARI. So that is silk sari yarn, are in the dark colors. Then in some places, like, let me see, I've got a nice puffy blue yarn around this circle. See how you can see that? One thing I haven't done is you can add beads to it, and that should give it a lot of sparkle. So, oh, and then I took, it was a cheap pearl cotton that I bought and then went, ooh, well, guess what? It worked fine for here. And it has a little bit of glitter strand worked into the yarn. So I'm real pleased with this. And I think this was a class well taken. I'm very, very happy with this. So thank you, Miss Rachel. I'll make sure to take a picture of that and send it to her. All right, so I'm going to kind of move this a little out of the way. And that way we can enjoy the Roland style color wash. I love that quilt. I love it. All right, so now let me get my agenda because I'm feeling a little scatterbrained. I didn't get to sleep till like 4:30 in the morning, and then I was back awake at 10, so I'm a little sluggish. All right, so I finished, got the binding on the color wash. I love my new machine, and thank you so much to Cindy for who was the wonderful seller who sold it to me. And thank you, Mark, for pushing me to get, he said, Deb, this is what you do. You need a good machine. Oh, I'm so thankful. Okay, I'm going to describe to you. Okay. I knew I wanted a thread cutter. Okay. And then I knew I wanted an auto presser foot lifter. Okay. When you're doing, when you're working on, let me get that lamp just right. When you're working on doing thread sketching or thread painting, it's nice to keep your hands on the work. In fact, I took my gloves, the gripper gloves with me to do the curves and circles quilt. And so it's nice to have a presser foot that lifts so you can pivot very easily. Now, my other machine that had the pivot, unfortunately, before I got ready to sew each time, it was a much cheaper machine. I had to drop the presser foot button. So I would get it just right and have to touch the screen, which it's a first world problem. I understand, but it was just an extra step that irritated me. And so let me describe sewing on the new machine because it's upstairs. I was not going to ask Mark to carry that thing back down. He had just taken it up yesterday, and it's going to stay up there. All right. So when I get ready to sew, the foot pedal has two separate pieces. On one is typical, and that has a start-stop button, but I've never used one of those yet, so I don't touch that yet. But the main pedal is your, okay, go, and how fast or slow do you want to sew? And it's over 1,000 stitches per minute, which I like because I'm a speed demon. Then there's another little button just to the right of that one. That one you can lift the presser foot. You can make it trim the thread. There's like several different things you can make it do. So I right away on the screen, it's so easy to program things because I'm not good with electronics. I'm not good with trying to figure out. It is so, it's very intuitive. It's laid out so easy to spot. I don't think I've had anything hang me up on it. And I'm somebody who is not good at that stuff. I get flustered easily. So I have that little extra to the right pedal that will do the thread cutting. So when I get ready to sew, I put my fabric down there. I don't have to. As soon as I push the start pedal, it drops the presser foot. Then when I finish the sewing pass I want to, I just move my foot slightly to the right and hit that little button, and it does the thread cutter. Soon as it's done cutting the thread, the presser foot pops up. Not the needle, just the presser foot, which is great because if you need to pivot, your needle stays down if you want it to. You can make it come up, program it to. But if the needle stays down, then you can easily pivot and head off in the next direction. So I told Mark, I know that sounds silly, but when you sew a lot, that is such a dream because I can just focus on the fabric and the machine knows what to do. Also, I set it up since I was working on paper pieced items, I set it up at a stitch length of 1.8 instead of 2.4. Turned off the machine, came back the next day, turned on the machine. All of my settings that I had set up popped right back up. Those are little things, but like I say, if you spend as much time sewing as I do, it is so, so nice. So I have to say, if you've wondered, should I spend money for a better machine? If you are as dedicated to sewing and quilting as I am, it is definitely worth it. Now, some of the ladies there, the two ladies across from me, I have a fan on and it's freezing my feet off. I'm barefoot all the time. And when you come into a basement, the floor tends to stay a little chilly anyway. But the two ladies across from me had wonderful embroidery machines. In fact, the one right across from me, oh my goodness. I told her that machine was so nice, had so many bells and whistles. I said, that's a who needs a man sewing machine, let me tell you. But I loved watching them embroider. But I thought, nope, I have to draw the line with myself because there's so many things I like. And I just don't want to spend the money or the time trying to learn one more thing. Because as it is now, I don't get to do all the things that I want to. But it was fascinating to watch her machine. It is an amazing machine. And did the cutest embroidery. It was so nice. And nowadays, the embroidery machines aren't so loud. I remembered like 10 years ago that one woman had a machine. It was so loud, but these were nice and quiet, like a regular sewing machine. It was fascinating to watch. Okay. Now, I have lots of photos from the retreat, lots of show and tell photos. And I'm going to show, I've got a bag full of prizes and free stuff that I got. Do you remember, I might have shown them 2 weeks ago, the big iron-on thing designs that I bought that I was going to sell. And what was so nice is I got them cheap enough that I could sell them for between $1.50 and the most expensive one was $3, but most were $1.50 or even $1 to $2. So that was nice. And then last week, I put one on a t-shirt and showed you how easy it was to do it. So I wore my t-shirt this week. I sold every one that I took. And even with still pricing them so cheaply, they cost me probably about $15. I ended up bringing home $50. So that was really, really nice. And it allowed me to do something nice for a friend there. And it allows me to, I don't know, just feel I love for $2 I can give somebody, they have their own t-shirt, put the thing, and they'll automatically now have a great um pattern t-shirt. Some of them were really funny. All right, so that was tickled. I was tickled that I made some money with that. And just a little bit, but you know what? It feels good. All right. So I need to order if I'm thinking of selling them when I go to Myrtle Beach. So I need to order some more. But um but I was surprised they bought every one. And another woman had some left over from something else she had done, and she was giving hers away. And so those were a big hit. People loved going to retreats or quilt shows and wearing a quilt related pattern shirt. So that was a fun thing. All right. Well, I'll show you what I worked on in a moment, but I think now I'm going to show you all the things I came home with. You're waiting for a machine that changes the feet for you. That is so cute. You are funny. Oh, let's see who all is here because I see more people have come in. Our Joso, our wonderful moderator. Thank you so much. Okay, so we have Polly Thompson, and her thread cutter is being a real pain. And you know what? That's one thing I think they need to get that fixed on those machines because it's not fair. But this new thread cutter on that bigger machine, it's wonderful. It really did work good. I think only one time did a little thread get hung up down in the bobbin area, and it was because you know the lifter arm that you have to run the thread over and it kind of guides that tension. Well, the thread popped off of it, which happens often on my Elna, so I knew exactly what that was. But that was easy. And so it very quietly and quickly cuts the thread and then minds its own business. It's wonderful. So cross your fingers, this holds out. Michelle and Bonnie and Betty and Frances Adcock, so glad to see her. And Joe Sows and Debbie. Debbie, I loved your emails before I went to the show. Lisa, I hope your roof is being fixed. And maybe it's weathered in now and they're just going to fix the inside. I want you to get your life back on. Okay. And let's see who else here. It's so good to see Joe. So Charlene Lawson is here. That's wonderful. Oh my gosh, I love seeing y'all. I love when your names pop up. So this is wonderful. Fantastic. Okay. Ah, y'all are cute. Okay. So I'm going to show you first. And you know, some of you might not appreciate what I do, but I love getting all kinds of little freebies and gifts, and I like to come home and show you what I got. And I'm hoping, you know, if you ever get something fun, I hope you'll bring in and show me. This is a gorgeous tiara that they gave me when they gave me my wedding shower. And so I was supposed to wear it. The only problem is I have a great big head, a great big head. So I should have done this at the thing, but I was afraid I would break it. But so I put my tiara on during the shower, and I love this. Thank you, Miss Kitty, for this. I love it. So then they have a prize table. So most of this stuff came from the prize table. Keep calm and sew on. I'm going to need this the next 4 years. So I'm going to find a good place to put this up and remind all of us just keep calm and sew on. And you know, Kate Jackson from the last homely house east of the sea, She always likes to say, when something is bothering you, take take it out of your mind and put take how does she say it? Get out of your mind and into your hands. Meaning the work you do with your hands will settle your soul. And I said, well, if that's the case, I'm going to be so productive this next 4 years. So on the prize table were styrofoam Christmas ornaments. Well, you know how I like making ornaments, so I picked those up. We get all these different trips to the prize table during the week. Also, I was thinking about y'all. Don't worry, when I go out of town, I'm still thinking about y'all. So there was a free stuff table, and I said, what can I get for my ladies that is very cheap to ship? And I'll show you now what I got. So one of these upcoming Sundays, we'll do a prize thing. So here, one of a kind quilting designs. Look at that precious pattern. So these are all patterns. Oh my gosh, this is so cute. Let me see. Oh my goodness. Here is this one. And oh, look at this garden path one. Isn't that pretty? Now, Miss Joe, since you are a moderator, be looking at these, and if one strikes your fancy, let me know, and I'll put it aside for you first, since you are kind enough to be our moderator. All right, here is a reversible table runner pattern. But these I can slip in a little envelope, a little bit bigger envelope, and I can send these much cheaper than I can normal packages. And there's this one. But I said, when everyone had had their time with the free table the day I left, I went and gathered up these. And this one. Isn't that sweet? So, all right. That is what I have. And if there were any of them, Joe, that you liked, let me know. And then you love the sun. Oh, okay. Well, I'm going to remember this, because we're going to, I'll let Miss Joe pick out something today, and then maybe next week, we'll have a drawing for those, okay? Because I love sending y'all that stuff. All right, so I got those. So I remembered you. Don't worry. And anytime, I try not to send packages anymore, because it seems like it's always around $8 or more package. Then we played bingo, and I won a bingo game. And so what you do in our bingo is we had 2 tables of 6 people. 6 people throw fabric into the center of the table, and whoever wins that round of bingo, and it's called Quilto bingo because they're quilting terms. And so whoever wins the bingo gets the 6 fat quarters. Then we've just got the best group. And Karen, who was one of our show people a couple back in 2019, said, can I go to the retreat? And I was still running it then, so I said sure. And she's still going to the retreat, and she found out about it from this show. All right, now they have like a waiting list. It's a popular retreat. Okay, so Carol and her daughter Pepper, more about Pepper coming up, had these wonderful boxes that some people called them bobbin boxes, whatever. And then they had a bunch of these vinyl stickers. And then they had some patterns that you could tape on the underside of the lid and follow to make your design. And I just kind of went off on my own and made my own design. But what a fun, it's called Make It, Take It. Now, speaking of Pepper, she is adorable. I mean, smart as a whip and hilarious. And she and her other young friend, Dina, played tricks on us the whole week. But they were such fun, good hearted tricks. So you might come back to your machine and find, oh, I'm missing an eye. I'll have to put another eye on it. But you might come back to your machine and find a little mouse sitting there, or a dinosaur, or now this one, look away if you don't like spiders, but look at this spider. And it has these, if you kind of like do this, they come back very lifelike looking. And then in all sorts, if they knew you weren't afraid of snakes, you would find snakes in your fabrics. It was so cute. You didn't see the first ones. Oh, okay. All right, hold on. Let's get Miss Jo, because I appreciate my moderators. So, all right. Here we are. We want Miss Jo to say, okay, I don't know what order they're in, but there's that one. There's this 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 one that Miss Charlene likes. Here is a reversible table runner. April Sunshine quilt pattern. And gingerbread iris pattern. So, if there are any of those that our Miss Jo likes, let me know and I will send it out to her, because we do love the people who don't mind being our moderators and kind of helping us out there. So if you know which one, just let me know. Oh, she likes April Sunshine. Okay, we'll try to remember these so we do the regular drawing for everybody else next week. All right, somebody did not want this and they put it on the freebie table. You know how I feel about white erasers. That's what you use for fabric. And you want a soft enough eraser that it gets into the weave and gets whatever mark out that you don't want in there. Then they had a free tree form. These suckers can cost like $5. So I got this one. Goes with the balls that I collected. All right, I'll put all the stuff back here. Whoa, come here. Okay. But I know I can definitely make something pretty with the Christmas tree form. You defer the sunflower to Charlene. You also like the iris one. Okay, let me write this down. Joe So. That is sweet, Charlene. She would like the iris one. Okay. All righty. Now I have a busy week this week. I'm sometimes slow on mailing stuff out, but one of the dogs has a dental. I have a hearing aid appointment. So, and it was on the freebie table. Cut right, bind up, fast and easy. Finish your binding with perfect mitered seams. I thought I'll try it. Then I bought this from one of the ladies there. Look at that wonderful piece of fabric, batik. $2 for that. And it feels like a full yard at least. Then, and this stuff fun? For me, this is fun. They always have free magazines. some free books, and it has to have something. I used to get so many magazines, and I don't anymore. I don't seem to have the time to read them. And then this was on the free table, or was it the prize table? And it is one of the um, giveaway free patterns for feathers and different quilting. And I always grab anything like that because I keep them up by my long arm. And then when I just don't have a clue, I'll pull out, go through them, and something will catch my eye every time. Now, in the past, Carol would make us totes with wonderful embroidery on it. I don't know if I have one to show you, but I've shown you the things that she's made in the past. This time they went a whole new direction. And here they took these mugs that you can fill with things, and look at the wonderful, it's even got my name on it. But look, she has a professional embroidery machine. Isn't that wonderful? So I tell you, I just fall 2024, and isn't that wonderful? Talented, talented. I think her daughter helped her too. So talented. Oh, and I don't know if y'all caught this, but do you see let me pull this light over. It's time for me to complain. Well, maybe I can't show you good, but there are two marks. This was a big blood blister. This was a smaller one. My kiwi, my cute little kiwi did that to me yesterday. So right now, I'm not going to touch her for a while. That hurt. It really did hurt. Look at this on the prize table. Free motion quilting. Yay. And this has tons of ideas. And that's what I use them for, because I tend to forget. I have seen some amazing quilters who, I'll put these in the giveaway pile too. These are the things that I sold for between $1 and most of them between $1 and $2.50. And these are the ones the woman gave me that she had left over from her table. So I'll put these in the giveaway pile. So now we have more good things. Here's another magazine. Let me clean this off. It's getting a wee bit crowded here. All right. Whoops. Okay, that was just a piece of yarn. Whoops. Stuff everywhere. Another magazine. Then I thought this was kind of pretty. This was sitting on the freebie table. Then these are so cool. They're paintable. There's some kind of resin or something that is paintable. So there's that one. There's this one. And there is this one. And these were all on the giveaway table. So I'm going to paint them up for my daughters and myself. Then this was on the giveaway table. And what it is a jewelry box, but you can take the little inserts out. So when I get my new hearing aids, I'm going to carry it in this box to go to retreats and classes, so that the charger and the hearing aids are in a safe place. So got that for free. I love passing things along to people who would appreciate them. It's fun. It is fun. All right. So here was from the prize table. Is that pretty or what? That is just so pretty. So got that from the prize table. Thank you, Cindy, who went up to the prize table for me. Now, in with this retreat for the last 8 years or so. This is a straw for that insulated mug. Stainless steel. I like it. Easy to take care of. All right. I'm going to tilt the camera down so you can see this. Okay. All right. They, every year for the last like 8 years, we've had a company called Jam Fabrics. Judy Merrill. She's a traveling fabric store. Her and her husband come and unpack bolts of fabric. So I saw this, since I do so many landscape quilts, I always look for good greens. Then always need more skies. So I got two different skies. This is a bold sky, and that's a calmer sky. And I needed a yellow. Now let's see if I got close enough. I also won this from the prize table. And I'm running low on my yellows. I think this will work. It's maybe just a touch lighter, but still close enough. I think this will work. So, all right. But when I got this box, I said, put all of your English paper piecing in this box. Nice, sturdy. There we go. All right. And in this bag, oh, two more things. All right. Here is a spool of embroidery thread, and it's a German, I think, brand. But orange is a color I tend to get short on when I'm looking for. I use embroidery thread for most of my thread sketching. Look at this. This is neat. Oh, there was another one that's even older than this. So anyway, that is I bought these from the and her fabrics usually run $7, $8 a yard, something like that. You know, she'll have some good deals. She had some zippers that now I wish I had bought. One of the women there. Okay, so now let me push that out of the way. One of the women there got a prize, and it was a quilt storage bag, and it was made with rip stop nylon. I don't know if you're aware of rip stop nylon. What's so good about it is it's waterproof, but it lets a little air through. And then it had a vinyl peep window, so you could kind of at a glance check what was in it. So then when I got home, I really liked those quilt bags, her quilt bag. And because then when you're not using it, it folds to a very small size. So I went on Fabric Wholesale. You know, I love my Fabric Wholesale. They have ripstop nylon in 14 colors for $5.99 or $4.99 a yard. So I said that would be an excellent sewing project for me to be able to keep some of my quilts in, try to have them labeled so I can put my hands on a quilt immediately. Because I've run out of closet space. I have some of these tarp material bags, but those other ones are so easy to work with and store, and they're soft, so it's easier to like stack them up. So that's from Fabric Wholesale, I believe. Um, I'm going to buy some of that fabric. I have some clear vinyl. I wish now I had bought, she had zippers, 4 for $1. Wish I had bought some nice long zippers. But anyway, okay. So now I'm going to show you my shower stuff. These ladies are so wonderful. And, you know, it's like all of y'all. We're just so good. So we were doing the show and tell. And Nancy, our intrepid leader, said that we're going to have a meeting right after we do show and tell, so don't go anywhere. And I thought, we already had a meeting. Oh, well. Well, so we did the show and tell. And then she said, Deb, come up here. Now, I was like, what? I tend to be shy. I, don't want too much attention. A little bit's fine. But they called me up and I had to come back up on stage. And she said, sit in this chair. And she said, you got married this May. And I said, yes, May 21st. And what was the color for your wedding? And I said, teal. And then she hands me this huge hat box. It is so heavy. And as she did that, one of the other ladies rolled a card up with a sheet cake that said, congratulations, Deb. They threw me a wedding shower. Well, needless to say, I cried. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, y'all are so wonderful. I couldn't believe it. So what they did is they had this big box and people put little things in it for the shower. So here are some cleaning tools. These are really neat. You can really, I think they're, silicone brushes. So they're gentle on the sewing machine, but they work really good. All right. Then I got a whole bunch of fat quarters. Different people dropped in. I mean, oh my goodness. Thank you so much to each of these ladies. I already sent a mass email and I'm like, I hope this will count because I don't know their addresses, but I was so touched. The lady from Jam Fabrics gave me this giant pincushion. Love that. Then someone gave me a gift card. Oh my gosh. Someone gave me a thread picker. And you put your hands in it and then your hand in it and then you rub this over and it picks up all your threads. Smart. Now this was really smart. These are so light dots. They're great for applique work. Anytime you don't, like if you're sewing silk or velvet, you can use these on either side of the fabric and it holds it instead of pinning it. So there's those sew dots. Then look at these beautiful pins they gave me. I was so touched because, this time I tried to make it very simple little wedding and I didn't have any of these little things and it's just so sweet. But look at this. This is a binder. Someone made this with a wooden ball and a wooden spool and a slot in the bottom. And when you make your binding, you stick it in and wind it around. Is that the cutest? I was so touched. Look at this thread binder. Isn't that great? That's a Riley Blake design. I love it. And then peels. I've always wanted some of these, never had them. These are spool hugger peels to keep your spools from having a party in your tote bag and then creating a whole big thread mess. That sun's coming in. Sorry about that. Fiskars blade. Thank you. Look at this one. A Gutermann thread assortment box. Oh my gosh. This is so kind. Oh my gosh. Then in this sweet bag are the prettiest quilt hangers I've ever seen. I feel like I don't deserve all this. This is just so much. I just love them. There you go. Oh, I just, goodness gracious. Then look at this Missouri Star 2-deck playing cards. Aren't they cute? I love those colors. That'll be a good reminder to use those colors in a quilt. And then, now you guys are going to get a kick out of this one. I'll give you 3 guesses, and the first 2 don't count. What animal is on this panel? And flamingos. I love it. So I have a wonderful flamingo panel. Isn't that neat? And then some more fabric, an assortment of 3 wonderful shades of purple. And something started to fall down. I caught it. Seam ripper, my favorite kind, the ergonomic handle. I love them. Look at these pins. And it just so happens, look at this, silver and gold. Wouldn't these be wonderful when I decorate the styrofoam balls? Wonderful curved scissors. Do you know? Do you see the end that the end of the blades is curved? I have wanted a pair of curved scissors my whole life. There, I finally got it. Oh, look at this wonderful assortment of fabrics. And then look, hand stitch kit. I just love it. And tailor's chalk. You know me. I love my tailor's chalk. Black hand quilting thread. I do not have black hand quilting thread. Love it. And then, oh my goodness, I've got 2 of the Aurifil gray, which you know I do all my piecing with gray thread. Aurifil. I told Mark, these are so expensive, but I just dearly love it. And look at this Gutermann. This is, what is the, it's a wonderful fine thread, polyester, 1,094 yards. Look at that Gutermann. I mean, are these ladies smart? And then, see this? I love the tape measure. And then Lou, I'm showing your gift you gave me. 2 eyeballs. Aren't they fun? I got just as excited about the eyeballs as anything. So there it was, my wedding shower. And honest to goodness, ladies, y'all didn't have to do this. This is so nice. And so it shows if you wait until you're old to find happiness, you just might get a bunch of great stuff. They are the most wonderful ladies. I could not be more happy to spend time with them. And what good people. So they are wonderful, and I cannot thank them enough. And I'm going to treasure all of this. I dearly love them for all of that. And they didn't have to do any of that. So, okay. Now we're ready to do show and tell. After we do show and tell, I will then show you what I worked on at the retreat. Besides the curves thing, and I guess I did work a little bit. I did work a little bit on the color wash, finishing up the binding. This is a nice tiara. This has got some weight on it. Look at that thing. Isn't that pretty? Aw. So I like it. Oh, and that's right. I have had this tiara for a long time, so now I have 2. And okay, let's do show and tell. Let me turn out these lights. All right. And let's do some show and tell. Now, I have found a couple photos, but I didn't have any. See that sun coming in? Let me try something here. But I didn't have time to go everywhere and look for photos. So I apologize if you sent some in and I don't have them. I do love your photos, and I don't. Let me see if I can. Let me get a paper clip. There we go. Okay. I think that'll work. It's not pretty, but it works. I only made decorative curtains down here, so they hang on either side of the window, but they don't close. So I had to use a paper clip and clip it to the blinds. So, girls got to do what you got to do. All right, here we go, y'all. All right, move this. Move it a little bit more. Okay. So anyway, as I was telling you, I went and loaded up my room, drove home, got home by 11:15ish, and came upstairs. Mark had not heard the garage door open or anything, came up, opened the stairs to upstairs and looked at him. And for a minute, he was like, "Is that someone in the hall?" But I wanted to make sure I didn't frighten him. That I would not want to do. And it was like, "I'm home." And he said, "I didn't think you'd come home this late." And I didn't tell it because I thought, if he's in bed, I don't want to wake him up. So, and I knew I brought everything in that needed to come in and knew we could worry about the rest tomorrow. But I was so happy to get home and in my own bed. And that's a child's camp. And so it's for teenagers and stuff. So the beds aren't very comfortable. But it's a lovely camp. It's just so beautiful. Let me find the photos. Hold on. Okay. But I was so glad to sleep in my own bed. All right, here we go. Let's see what we've got now this week. All right. Oh, and let me write down. Now, I'll come back in a minute and write some more of these things down. Double A show and tell. Okay. Alberta. Let's see. Oh, I love these. Remember that Alberta's quilt group is working on quilts for the Hurricane Helene victims, North Carolina. I'm going to make this bigger. Okay. So here is, they are rag quilts for children or babies. Aren't they sweet? Look at that. One for boy, one for girl. They're lovely. Alberta, you are a sweetheart. Rag quilts for hurricane survivors. Lovely. All right. Now we're going to go back up. Come on. Okay. And Betty. I don't think I got a new one from Betty. You know what time it almost is? It's going to be Christmas soon. I better get busy. I have done nothing to prepare for Christmas. Thank you. I love that, Betty. Okay, go back to show and tell. Come on. Come on. Okay. BB Bonnie. Bonnie. Yes, I found out now who did the I Believe. And it was a free pattern that she gave on a site on our group's IO. She gave the shortcut to get a free pattern for this cute little fellow. I love Bonnie, always looks out for us. She's such a doll baby. So, okay, let's see. What else do we have to show of Miss Bonnie's? She also, okay, we know that she learned how, by using these cards to put the threads over, she learned how to do a round braid. Look at that. I'm very impressed, Miss Bonnie. And so she does reenacting, and it's nice to have that. Here are some of the things she's got on her design board working on her wonderful black work. I love that. And that is not much bigger than a piece of paper, if it is. So that's really meticulous work. Okay. And free pattern. Look at this for Thanksgiving. Isn't that wonderful? She belongs to several different groups of block exchanges. This is her paper piece Hexies. Here's a new Noel that she is working on for Christmas. She's already started. So thank you, Miss Bonnie, for sharing those with us. Now, let's see. Whoop, come on. Pink. All right. I don't think I have anything. No, 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 no. But Charlene wants the sunflower. Whoops, didn't mean to do that. Charlene wants the sunflower quilt. I will remember that. That was so nice of Joe for acquiescing to Miss Charlene. I'm writing it down right now. Charlene wants the sunflower pattern. Okay. All right. Now bring back up that folder. We got a lot, so many pictures to show you. All of the show and tell pictures from the retreat. We got lots. All right. Now, let's see. Debbie sent me this gorgeous, gorgeous flamingo photo. I think I need to make a quilt of that, don't you think? I think I better start saving my pinks. That is beautiful. And then next, we'll look at this she made. I love that. I love that. With a 4 patch. Actually, that's a 9 patch. It's an irregular 9 patch star. Isn't that lovely? Love that. And then look at her cutie pie, her version of the confetti quilt. Okay. And oh, I love this. This is her Alex Anderson hand embroidery. And there's a close up. Then I'll step out a little. Isn't that just exquisite? I love it. All right. Next one. Oh, look at this beautiful fall quilt she did. That binding is amazing. I'm going to enlarge this so you can see that wonderful striped binding. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? That's a great idea. You know what it reminds me? It reminds me, don't forget to do piping or false piping on binding. That's beautiful. Okay, let's see. Dolores, oh, her beautiful fall leaves. I love that. Oh, beautiful. And it just was take a moment to look at the beauty around us. Sometimes that beauty can do us so much good. And this quilt is always going to be one of my very any of you have made. I mean, it's so extraordinary. That is a confetti quilt. Goodness gracious, that's so pretty. Thank you, Miss Joni. You are such a talented lady. All right. Julie. Julie sent her wonderful fall photos plus. Okay, look at that. Isn't that pretty? I really still want to travel and see life for all of you. This is a beautiful, believe it or not, she made this quilt and she made sure to make the metals reflect correctly. And it's just beautiful. And it was won by what they had a raffle for one of the vets. Isn't that beautiful? I love y'all. You're so giving and generous. Thank you. Thank you, Miss Julie. All right. Miss Mary, I know what she did. Miss Mary did the two things she has done just more recently wonderful mug rugs. Doesn't that look fun? And had great gifts for people for the holidays. And she took all of her scraps of yarn and turned it in. Pardon me. Turned it into this beautiful lacy Afghan, crocheted Afghan. Isn't that beautiful? Way to go, Miss Mary. I got to check in with Miss Mary and see how she's doing. All right, let's see. Now I'm go back. All right. Miss Melanie. Oh, I love this that she got her blocks ready. Next step is doing long arm quilting. Yay. All right. Now let's see. I'm trying to make sure I don't want to miss anything. I love, love, love these how that she makes a beautiful seasonal arrangement using this truck. How cute. And then look at this fall version. Now, this was also for Halloween because you notice the little eyeballs there and the flowers. Isn't that cute? Pat's got a great sense of humor, but that's lovely, hon. Just lovely. Okay, now let's see. And I bet you she'll do a Christmas version of it as well. Miss Polly has done some beauties lately, and she was in a slump for a while, but I think she's come out of it pretty good. And while you're noticing this beautiful fall wall hanging, notice that beautiful wooden loom behind there. Isn't that something? I'm just so proud she wanted to learn to weave and she got a loom and she's weaving. Y'all are just something else. I love this the water landscape, the ocean landscape. And I love using the cheesecloth for the waves. And then look at this. Isn't that just beautiful? She's got a very good eye for color. Beautiful. All right. Now let me see who's next. Okay. Da-da-da. SJ. And SJ sent me a lovely email and our message on one of the things, and I think I did answer back. I hope I did. Here was Miss SJ. She's from England, and this is the back of her Halloween quilt, and there's the front. Is that the cutest? I just love it. Love, love, love it. Beautiful job. I love the tabs and I love the curved scalloped bottom of that wall hanging. Great job, Miss SJ. And don't forget, send any pictures for show and tell to our time to quilt at twc.com. And then here, Miss Joe sent me something very sweet when I was having a rough day a couple weeks ago. I think quite a few of us were having a rough day, and she went and collected these, and they meant everything. Remember, gifts don't have to be store bought or fancy or anything. Sometimes it's just a knowing that somebody thought of you, and this meant so much to me. Thank you, sweet Joe. All right, now, and here she got a kit to learn her hand embroidery stitches. Look at that. Isn't that great? So we're going to start doing a um, three-dimensional hand sewing kit. Um, um, Three-dimensional applique, no, hand embroidery. I'll get it right, I promise. I have to have 8 hours of sleep. So anything less, and look at this wonderful yoga mat she made. Isn't that great? I love it. And it looks like pieces from all kinds of projects she has done. What fun. Way to go. Way to go, Joe. All right. So now I'm going to go. I think I've gotten everyone's thing in. So I'm going to go to the retreat pictures. Now, I haven't really edited, I did a little bit of editing at the retreat. And so let's see. We'll just start and go through them. Okay. This is a beautiful hand pieced grandmother's flower garden made by Miss Kitty. Oh my gosh, this just wowed everyone there. Isn't that remarkable? I'm going to try to bring it in closer because she did a lot of fussy cutting with, whoops, not that close. I don't know if you can tell, but she did a lot of fussy cutting of the fabrics, which is like an extra. Here's fussy cutting. Here is fussy cutting. And what that means when you say fussy cut, it means you take that little piece of fabric you're going to cut out and you purposely lay it over a flower or something that will make it extra special. when you make the quilt. Whoops, I meant to go the other way. Not that far. Okay, here we go. Oh, but anyway, this is going to be a king size handmade. Whoops. Come on, Deb. Come on. Come on. All right. Handmade. Um, and I asked her, I said, do you glue or do you sew? She sews the fabric to the papers, to the English paper piecing papers. So that is just a labor of love for sure. Okay. All righty, here we go. Mm. Here is the stage at the retreat. And on the stage, they gave a pattern out to anyone who wanted to do a group project. And they gave the pattern out, and each person was to make the pattern their own colors, mix it up a little, whatever you wanted to do. And so these are all the different quilts. And don't worry, I'm going to show them to you in a minute. But this is a big, huge room, and we eat meals at one end and we stitch at the other end. And this is my shirt that I made um, last week on the show, and I wore it so they would see what those um, iron-ons looked like. And that is the cutest iron-on. And then I wanted to, my girls, and Cindy, who sold me the machine, wanted to get a chance to see it. And so here is, and my daughter Katie made this cute bunny. And then my daughter Becky made my pink flamingo there. And here are all my little treasures sitting up there. But that's what it looks like. And you've got a good size space, big wall of windows, nice tall ceiling. The acoustics aren't the best, but we love being there. All right, so here's the machine again. And there, every day I would take a picture of myself, send it to Mark. Oh, now I'm showing you what I'm working. That's my Italian mosaic floor quilt. And this is very fuzzy, but I just wanted to show you. This happened to be a rainy day, but it was just beautiful out. That big window brings all of fall in for you. So I just thought I would show you what the room looks like. And here is a wonderful, now we're starting the quilt show. Okay. Isn't that amazing there? And then one of the flower packet quilts. Do you remember when those were all the rage about a year or two ago? How pretty. And she said, I didn't know this, but you fussy cut around the flowers to get what you want. So that's pretty amazing. There's the back of it. And here is a wonderful t-shirt quilt that was made beautifully. And guess what? There's my little confetti quilt. So they showed that one. This is a wonderful woman, Marilyn. Her pouch she made. There's the outside of it. Here is a Halloween stocking. How cute is that? Okay. And look at this precious. This is Pepper, who her and her mom do all the embroidery for our class. That's a Wizard of Oz quilt. In Yellow Brick Road, Tornado. I mean, all the different things are so cute. Okay. They're now going to hold up these quilts that each person did their own version. Let's see. Oh, I didn't get this one as good as I wanted, but it was a wonderful summer sherbet colors quilt. Then, oh, this is Nancy, who runs the retreat beautifully, and showing you the lining of a coat she made. And it's a quilt coat that looks truly comfortable. I guess these pictures aren't coming out in order. There's a wonderful machine cover. Isn't that beautiful? I wonder where you'd get that pattern. Oh, sorry. I guess I am a little crazy about that machine. And here is the sewing room. And it's just so much fun. And we have the prize table here and giveaways and for sales back along this wall. We also in this part, and then down there is the kitchen. This is just lovely. Another picture of those, another picture of that. There I am. So every day I had this habit of taking a picture of myself, sending it to Mark. He takes a picture of himself and sends it back to me. Now, the first morning after I got there, I had been, I call it TP'd. They took those cute gals. There's my spider, my dinosaur. They took post-it notes and toilet papered everyone's, or about 8 or 9 people's sewing area. It was so cute. Nancy one day had some fake doggy pooty poopy on her sewing machine bed. It was hilarious. But we just never knew what to expect. Isn't that just so cute? Those girls were a ton of fun. And here we are again doing some nice sewing. They've got great lighting and skylights during the day. And here is my case. I tried to take more pictures this time so you could kind of see what things we were doing. And so these were, and you took and cut them up and put them where you wanted them to be. And like these little, I took one of those star stickers and trimmed it so I could put them in the corners. But we just had fun. Just, it felt like summer camp, but for us older ladies. And here, right outside that wonderful big room, is a concrete deck, a raised deck with all these picnic tables. And I would go out and took my camping recliner chair and I would sit out there in the sun and just enjoy the beautiful fresh air and the beautiful falling leaves. And it's lovely, just lovely. I feel at peace there like very few other places. There's the chapel. There's a pond right here with a few little fountains. And it's just a lovely, it's called Camp Walter Johnson. And it's just beautiful. There I am sitting in my camper chair, getting a little bit of sunshine on me, and it's just so peaceful. In fact, it was so peaceful, I kind of took a nap out there, and it was wonderful. And then now, and here is that side of the end of the building with all of those windows. They've been working on putting all new siding up. They're taking very good care of that camp. It does so many good things. Oh, another picture of the machine. I apologize. You would think I was a little obsessed, wouldn't you? Here is one of my first medallions for the Italian floor quilt, the mosaic floor. Oh, here's another picture of me. And yep, that picture again. I've gotten all of my big borders done. I only have one of this little inner and outer border. I've got to do two for every one of those. So, and this is the center mosaic part. Okay, there's Nancy again with her wonderful coat. Look at that coat. It looks so comfortable. And you know, sometimes when we make coats out of quilts, they can look too stiff and heavy. This looked wonderful and has a hood on it too. Nancy does something every year, and this year I think she was hoping to get out of it. But she was a school teacher and she reads us a quilt book. And we love it. It's like a child's book and it somehow has quilting in it. And so this year we were like, no, we want you to read to us. So she read to us again. And then they do a raffle where she raises money. They do a raffle where she raises money to send an extra child to camp. So that's really nice. Here is that the quilt design they did where I told you it looked like summer sherbet colors. And Michelle did this quilt. Okay, now let's see. These are the quilts that have one pattern, but they're all different looks. Now, I was so impressed. Dina made this. I was so impressed because I never thought about using such beautiful, pale, washed out colors. But that looks like an instant heirloom. Isn't that just beautiful? A pale pink and gray, pale gray, and a cream color. I thought that was exquisite. And thank you to Michelle and Melissa for being the quilt holders. This is the same pattern, so you'll get a chance to see how different you can make this pattern. Here's another one. Another one. I think about 18 people participated in this. Isn't that remarkable? Isn't that cute? These are all the same pattern. So next time if you look at a pattern, just know, oops, sorry, that's blurry, but just know that you can change up. Two people did these nice bright colors, and look at that. But just by changing fabric and placement, you can just make it look like an entirely new quilt. Okay. Almost done. Look at that. These are all the same pattern. Now those are done. And now here, look at this wonderful Pepper did this one. And I love the restraint to set the snowflake off center. Isn't that is so striking. I love that. It gives it more of a presence. And then here, that's her Wizard of Oz quilt. Then a woman stood up to show this. Evidently, her husband does not like Christmas, so she made this for him. Isn't that cute? I need to make one for Mark. And then look at this wonderful fall alphabet quilt. Just beautiful. This is amazing. And I'm going to bring it up carefully. Look at the size of those 9-patch blocks. Look at that. Isn't that amazing? So this Gloria made this one, and it is, whoops, not that small. It is unbelievable. I said that her name is Gloria. I said, Gloria, that is a glorious quilt. That is amazing. That's a once in a lifetime quilt. All right, there's the Halloween stocking held up again by Marilyn. And then she did a book cover. So, and it's one that you can slip in a new notebook and you've got the cover. Then she made all of these. Oh, they're lovely. Look at this she made. Now, I think it's one where you can buy this that lays over the background fabric, kind of like a reverse applique. And sorry about the blur. There were so many quilts. I was taking pictures fast as I could. And look at that cute Halloween log cabin. This is Marilyn loves Mickey Mouse. This is her Mickey Mouse quilt. Look at this one. This won a ribbon in a local quilt show, and it is beautiful. And this was made by Cindy Sullivan, and it is amazing. Just love it. She calls it Buddha Belly, her Buddha quilt. I think that is so cute. So, and then I think she did another. Oh, there's the back. And it's all kinds of things about her husband and when they got married. So it's a real sweet quilt. Then here, look at these wonderful totes. There were people making really great totes. And the new tote style are they've got the nice wide bottom, really usable. Now look at this amazing fall quilt pattern. I'm going to show you another picture. That's the same pattern. And here they are together. Isn't that something? That's the same pattern, but depending on the fabrics and the layout, it looks totally different. Isn't that something? Here's a nice table runner. I forget about rail fence. It's really a good pattern, and sometimes I tend to forget about it. I love the spider web patterns and a wonderful Bargello. And I think this is a hunter star, kind of a day night look. And I love that cute quilt. Nice rail fence. Look at the falling leaves. I am a sucker for a fall leaf quilt. Look at the back of that quilt and that gorgeous fabric. I need to start buying better backing fabric. Oh, look at this. Isn't that interesting? That is my color wash quilt. And I told them I enjoyed making that so much. Oh, another picture of it. And there's my confetti quilt. And there is the latest class quilt I took. And the curves and things from Rachel Durston. There's a better, clearer picture of it. And then this is a beautiful, beautiful senorita quilt. Beautiful. And look at this. Is that simply gorgeous? I think they were Tula Pink fabrics, and it is just beautiful. All kinds of hexes. And look at this wonderful t-shirt that has a log cabin block on it. So, it really makes you think differently about what to do with this quilting and how you can change it up. Isn't that great? Okay. And this, I'm trying to remember this. I think, it was from a book that Nancy read us last year, and it was the Ghost Quilt. It was a cute little ghost that was a quilt. And so she's making that, and it's so cute. Then this is called an African Queen. Those are actual mudcloth African fabrics. And then this, look at all of those block designs. Just terrific. And I love turquoise and brown. Isn't that pretty? I love some of these. A scrappy quilt like that, I really enjoy. This one is, I think they call them bars or strings. It's really cute. Here is another t-shirt quilt. And what you have to notice, if you want to make a t-shirt quilt, you've got to get the right fusible interfacing to hold it stiff enough to make a t-shirt quilt. And that is a gorgeous job. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Okay. Guess what? There we go, Miss Lisa. There was a sparrow quilt that showed up. And I have been looking and collecting to see what colors am I going to make for my sparrow quilt. That is so cute. There's another version. All right, that flower. Oh, look at this. This is a color the world quilt that's just getting started. Look at that. How beautiful. Look at this one. This I remember somewhere. This is one of my UFOs. These blocks we made at a local quilt shop. It was a quilt along every month, and Miss Becky finished hers, and she did an outstanding job. And I love the color that she bound it with. Instead of trying to just match one thing, I love that. So that rail fence again, I'm wondering if we've gotten to, oh, no, this is still a new one. And I love how she used kind of a log cabin style to frame these printed blocks. Here is a peacock quilt. Beautiful job. I almost picked that pattern off the table, off the free table, but I didn't. And remember my exploding heart that when did we, not last year, but the year before that, Lisa and I made. And this woman did her own. I love it. And that was Karen who did that. And then these two quilts. Nancy was given a box of 1960s and 70s calico, and she cut them out cut them out for her and her friend, and they made their own quilts from the cut pieces. And I just think that's so cute. And she's the one that she's in North Carolina and the friend's in Montana. I love that. Here's another view of it. It's so cute. And then look at this. This Michelle did this one. That is exquisite. That was a lot of work. A lot of work. And she did a beautiful job. Okay. Look at that. Isn't that just extraordinary? The fabrics are gorgeous. I love this Christmas one with Santa. So cute. And another view of the sewing machine cover. What a beautiful, beautiful job on that. Okay. Almost reminds me of Allison Glass fabrics. And another of the t-shirt quilts. And she said you have to be a good friend of hers for her to make you one. I love this basket, flower basket quilt. Ah, look at that. Oh, I remember now. These fabrics and partially done quilts. The woman is very, very ill. She gave the fabric to Nancy and Carol, a few others, and said, if you just send me a picture when you finish the quilts. She gave them away, but just wanted to see that they were actually finished. And isn't that amazing? So these wonderful ladies have worked on them. And this is I'm trying to think of who this was. I don't know if this is one of Pepper's or Carol's. Lovely quilt. And I think most of these are Carol's quilt. Okay, let me see. Oh, isn't that sweet? And Carol is quite a workhorse. Oh my goodness, she's a busy lady. She sets her studio hours up as if it were a job. And I think we get to make this one for next year. Isn't that cute? How many scarves do giraffes need? I love that. I hope we get to work on it. And there's the giraffe panel behind it. Up here is somebody you know. Here was me sitting on stage with my wedding shower. And with my tiara on. I said, sorry, I have a big head. And she brought up the cake. Look at that cake right there. And so I was having a hard time looking through the bucket and keep the heavy bucket on my lap. So I went over and took place at a table. And it was just so nice. I was just tearing all over the place. But isn't that a beautiful cake? Nancy ordered that. I felt so loved. They're so, so sweet. They never had to do anything like that, but it made me feel very special, and I thank them so much. And this was done Friday before I left. And now I sent this picture to Cindy. You notice I put decals on it. I said, it's my machine now. That's how you know if I am happy and going to keep that. I decorate that thing within an inch of its life. So there we go. Okay. So I think that was everything. That was a lot of pictures. I appreciate y'all staying through all of that. But I told y'all, I said, if I go to the retreat this time, I'm definitely going to bring home plenty of photos to show you because I want you to feel, I wish I could bring all of you with me, but I at least want you to feel like you have a little feeling of that retreat. And oh, we are so tired by the end of it because none of us are used to sitting at a machine for 10 straight hours. And but we had games, we played bingo, we had different little classes to help. How do you make a zippered pouch? Things like that. But mostly it was just sewing and getting your stuff done. Oh, have a good trip, Debbie. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving and enjoy your grandchildren. And Michelle, take good care of yourself. It's so good to see you here. Oh, well, I'll send you an email about that, Miss Lisa, about the stickers where you can print your own. There's some kind of, it's like a clear vinyl that um accepts printing. Oh, this one doesn't have it on it. I even run my cups through the dishwasher and it stays. But I found a source where it's actually cheaper to buy them. So I will email you to that. But Debbie, you and your husband, hon, have a wonderful Thanksgiving with those kids. The ghost who was a quilt. Thank you, Joe. You're so sweet. So, all right, everyone. So, all I wanted to show you, all we have left, I told Mark, I said, I don't think I have enough for a whole show. I think I did. So, this is the book I've been using. I bought it for $5 off a used bookseller on internet site by Nora McKeekin, and it's Bella Bella sampler quilts. And I'm making the Sicily souvenir quilt, but I'm adding a little more color. Here is an original couple thousand-year-old mosaic, and you see the colors. So I feel like it's artistic license with a little to back it up. So, and this, like I told you, this is going to be the center. And these are taken from actual, very old, ancient mosaic tile floors. Here is the first medallion I made. Now, in all honesty, I'm going to go back and take this places out. Do it by hand so I can get a more perfect circle. Because I'm putting a lot into these and I want it to show. Here is the second one, which was easy. Oh, I forgot to show you this. Somebody put this in my wedding shower box too. It's a scissor little bangle for your wrist. Isn't that nice? But here is the second medallion I made, and I really like this one. And it's much easier to do a border that's straight line than a perfect circle. But I'm going to go back and make that and kind of neaten that up. But, and then like I showed you, there are the borders for it. So I think we're done. And thank you so much for all that were able to stick around. Thanksgiving. Now, Debbie's leaving early to go to Thanksgiving because she's traveling across the country. So, and I'm glad that if she's going to travel that far, I don't know why I turned that light out. I just wanted to, but I'm glad that she's going to really have some good visit time with those grandbabies. If you're going to travel across the country, might as well stay a little while. So, oh, I forgot to ask her if she was taking Chloe. But all of you, thank you so much for joining me. And y'all are just dear hearts. So I thank you. I'm now back and I've got a busy week ahead, but hopefully I'm going to get my hearing aid soon And Maisie will have her dental done, and then it's going to be right before Thanksgiving. I've got my semi-annual doctor's visit and then cancer screening again, but all good. It's, it's things you do when you're on this side of the dirt. So thank you very much, everyone. And thank you for being on this ride that we call life. It's sure interesting, I can tell you that. But take good care. Thank you for spending this time. I'll see you next Sunday, where I've got to get back to that undersea quilt. So take good care. Mwah. And I'll see you next weekend. So that'll be before Thanksgiving. Don't worry. We'll say Thanksgiving. We'll say Happy Thanksgiving next week. Take good care. Bye-bye, everyone. See you next Sunday.